So we are now recording the June 26, 2020 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. That's Sarah's saying.
She's not here, so I had to pick up the slack.
Stand in. Thank you.
There you go. Way to go, Shannon.
So we're kind of continuing our talk on new computers. So Linda, you're waiting until December when the sales come out.
Well, maybe Black Friday in November after Thanksgiving, or maybe we'll have a Black Friday. Who knows? What, are we going to have a Prime Day in July?
Maybe a COVID day in August?
No more COVID. We're done with COVID. I get my test next Tuesday because they test you before they let you in the hospital for a procedure. So if it turns out I have COVID, they won't let me in the next day and we'll end up rescheduling. But
So I was saying that, I just got a brand new computer and I really like it so far. I've had laptops for, I think, 10 years. And I decided to go with the tower this time. Very radically different, right? I mean, I went from, in fact, it's right here. I went from this tiny little thing right here. Oh, there you go.
It's hard to see with you.
Hard to see with the virtualization. To this huge tower, but I think one of the reasons I did it is when I bought it, I was able to expand. I added a new graphics card, which is actually enabling that virtualization. No, wait, that virtualization. And actually, we're getting rid of one of the computers here. So I'm actually running Hyper-V on my machine now because of all the power that I was able to get at a lower price. So to me, that's the big trade-off. I'm keeping that laptop in case I'm, ever on the road. But, ultimately I'm running virtual computers inside the machine that I'm on every day. So this machine has 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Nice.
It has a very fast video card, and it also has an i9 processor. So I think that you can get a tower for less money than you can get a laptop. And hey, with that C word these days, COVID, you're not going anywhere very soon. So, let's, spend a little less money.
Yeah.
Got it. So I did just recently buy a new computer. Like a lot of people, I had a Windows 7 machine and a Windows, well, actually it was 8.1, 7 and 8.1. And the 7 gave up the ghost. It finally went. I really kept it. I was going to keep it as a secondary computer should something happen to my main computer. But since it died, I went out and got a Windows 10, and I got an HP all-in-one, and I got like a really, really powerful one, and I'm really liking it so far. So far, it's been able to do everything that I want it to do. It hasn't bogged down, and I like the all-in-oneness. What I don't like is lack of ports. Doesn't have as many USB ports. So I went through my old cables drawer and found a USB multiplier. So I can plug it in, and now I have 4 more, kind of like you do on outlets. So now I'm 10, and now I'm 8.1, and my 8.1 is starting to become a dog for me. So I'm really liking my Windows 10.
One of those things, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Did you get one that has power?
No, it just sucks the power from the one I need to upgrade then, huh?
Yeah, there's a huge difference between the two. I found this is actually what I used to use when I had the laptop, when I was port poor. But so the other thing, right? You like that?
Yes.
The other thing that I found out you know, just because I hadn't played in that world for a while, oh my gosh, Universal Standard Bus is no longer just Universal. It's like, oh my God, really? So there's 2.0, 3.0, 3.1, 3. I'm like,
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
speed. Uh-oh, Mark's gonna like, you know, give us all the information. But the
Hi, Mark.
speed differences between all of them is just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so I was going to say, depending on the age of the one that you have, you may want to just replace it with a newer one because it probably doesn't have the USB 3 ports. So, yeah, that may make a difference.
Make a huge difference.
And you can, and of course, this one is a USB-C. So that's the
Which is the kind of rounder, the more round.
Yeah. So you know you can also buy whatever end you have the most ports of that you want to sacrifice on the device itself. There probably, did it come with mostly USB-C?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that I had was in my drawer.
No,
it's
I meant the computer, the new computer. Does it have mostly this type of connection?
It lists. Oh,
Mine
yes,
doesn't.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you could get one of these, and then that would let you have a couple more, you know, USB 3 ports, and there's another one. You probably don't need the HDMI. There's different levels. This brand is Hutu.
Okay. I'll have to look
Mark?
for one. Like I said, I just pulled it
So
out
they
of
make
my
different
drawer.
models. And this one also has a SD card.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
and
Fancy.
you wouldn't need this, but that's got a network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's comes in handy for the laptops.
Nice.
So Mark, if you have one that's old like this,
Uh-oh, like this.
Yeah.
I seriously think this one's like 15 years old, but it's the only one I could find when I moved my office. And because the temporary computer that I bought a year ago, it only has 2 USB ports. It has no network port. It has 1 HDMI. It has seriously 5 holes where you can plug stuff into, and one of them's the power.
Mhm.
And so did it come with the DVD?
Nope.
Computers don't these days.
Well, I mean, this is my laptop has got, limited number. Of course, it's only a 13-inch screen. That's on purpose. Because I like to be able to take it with me and not be dragging it around. And if I need a larger screen, I got a monitor and a dock at the house I can connect it to. So if I really want that little larger screen, I can do that. So it doesn't have very many ports. It's got a USB 3 port, and then 2 USB-C ports, audio connection, and that's about it.
You're port poor now.
Yeah, well, that's why I got this. When I need it, I got it. And like I said, I've got a dock, just a dock that connects to the USB-C, and that gives me it charges the computer, and it also gives me access to other ports, so I can connect, the monitors connected to the dock, as well as the keyboard and the mouse.
I have 12 USB ports on this new machine.
You're bragging now.
I just had to count them.
And
So-
Shannon, you're talking about buying some more power for your computer.
Yeah, so if you run QuickBooks and a dashboard software and keep a lot of windows and different programs open, it sucks up the memory. This computer, sometimes I'll look at the memory and I'm at 100%, and it just is so slow. So I had my husband take a look and order, because I'll over research stuff and I'll never buy anything. So I had him research for me and pick something out, and I just gave him my credit card, and then it didn't work. So he used his credit card. But that's a long story. So I don't know if he's back yet. Jamie, if you're back, unmute yourself and tell them what kind of an awesome deal we got on the computer.
Nope, he's ghosting us.
Yeah. So,
Well, I just
Yeah.
had a, go
I
ahead.
don't really remember how good of a deal we got. I just know that we got a pretty good deal ordered directly from HP. We got the HP Ullman gaming laptops is what we ended up getting. 17-inch screen. Yeah, I don't remember all the details on it, but yeah, it's got a really good video card on it and decent processor.
yeah, this 13 inches is the Spectre. I like the Spectres because they're.
I haven't bought a 17-inch laptop because my laptop case won't hold my bigger. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's too good. It's too.
I think I've bought my last laptop that I'm going to go with a Chromebook. Well, I actually have a Chromebook too for running around and doing things that I need outside of the house. My laptop is
Right.
now my living room computer. So while I'm watching TV, I can,
Yeah.
cast things onto my TV.
Yeah.
Can you use QBox on the Chromebook?
No,
I don't
it
believe
has to be on
so.
Windows.
No.
You need the Windows platform.
No,
Yeah,
because
Chromebook
you
is
can't
nothing
run
more than
QuickBooks.
Chrome
Books
browser.
running off or operating off of.
Yeah, you can't run QuickBooks on a Chromebook.
What you're
No.
really using it for is if you're out and you need to be on a browser.
For email and anything to do with the internet,
Yeah, it's
right?
basically considered in a way, it's kind of like a tablet that's shaped like a laptop. So
Yes, yes.
it's
So you
the
do
same kind of
Zoom
thing.
and
It's got a
everything.
reduced operating system. It does have some local storage. And,
Mhm. Right.
But I don't want to put storage on anything that I'm carrying around with me. That's part of the reason too. Whatever
Got it.
I'm carrying around, I don't want to have QuickBooks on it. I don't want to have,
yeah, so-
anything on the local hard drive,
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah, no sensitive information. Right.
Right. And I have Dropbox too. So if I need to save something and open it on another computer, I use that a lot to do that. Move things in between computers.
If you're operating on a Windows platform, the other option is to set up a BitLocker. It's
Yeah.
right in Windows, or it is a Windows option.
Yeah.
It's called BitLocker. Basically what that is you can put passwords on your computer and all that. They can't break in, but the other thing they'll do is pull the hard drive out, plug the hard drive in, and try to extract the data that way.
Yeah.
The BitLocker actually locks that system up completely. They aren't able to actually extract any data without the 40-digit key or whatever they have to have for it. So
BitLocker is built right into, and it's disk encryption.
yep.
So I went to a client yesterday. The client, they actually, the owner that I have been dealing with for many, many, many years sold the business to a new owner, and he bought a laptop and he wanted me to install QuickBooks and QBox on it. So no problem. We're taking the license off of the old owner's computer and putting it on the laptop because the old owner didn't want to have anything anymore. No, wanted nothing to do with it. It's now the new owners. So I went there and they have the CD actually in the office, and I went to the office manager and said, can I have the CD to install this? Well, I forgot. Laptops do not have DVDs any longer.
No, you have to have an external one to plug in.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap.
Online.
They're pretty
No,
cheap.
I do actually have one because my HP all-in-one did not come with it either. So if I had known that, I would have taken it with me. However,
Do they have internet to download it?
that's what I ended up doing, but I could not find where you download the actual QuickBooks program. You used to be able to go to Intuit Camps, and that's the place that I always remembered getting it, but it's not. They've changed it. Intuit has changed all that. You can
Camps is still there.
You have to log
Camps
in
is still
now.
there.
Do
Yeah.
they
you
have
just
a
have-
login?
I always
logged
log in through QBO to get to camps,
see,
but it's still camps.
I didn't want to bring my QBO. They were on desktop, and I just didn't want to open my QBO in front of a client with all my
Right.
clients and, you know,
Oh,
all that. And I,
What year were you working? What year were they using?
19.
There is a website to get those downloads.
Well, I did eventually find it after 10
It's
minutes
hard
of
to
searching.
find.
It
Yeah.
was very hard to find, but once I got that, everything went well. That was the hardest part about my call. No DVD, and I should have known that. I should have remembered. Laptops do not have DVDs any longer.
Well, what version was it that had DVD?
2019.
2019.
Really?
Oh, you know, they bought it off of Amazon probably, and they bought the one
Well,
I
I
always
actually
order the
bought it.
CDs.
No, I bought it from them, for them, from Intuit, and I
Yeah, you can
always
check
get
it.
this DVD. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always tell
Okay.
people to get it so that the reinstall is much easier and quicker. In addition, this particular client has like really poor internet service.
Oh,
So,
yeah, you don't want
yeah,
to be downloading.
downloading things take forever.
Ever.
But
Yeah.
it happened to be a good day, so all went well.
But
The-
you wasted a lot of time figuring all this silliness out. Hey, Mark, note to self, will you buy me one of those external
DVDs?
DVDs to have in my toolkit?
Oh, it's good having you back, Sarah.
Yeah,
Are
I've
you
just
guys hearing her as well as on my speakers as well as her own?
Mm-mm.
no, the door
Yeah.
to the hallway is closed, so it's not.
Okay.
He's in the office next to me.
Oh, he's not in Savannah. Okay.
Yeah, he's in Savannah. He's in Karen's office. Karen's working out of her house.
Ah, got it.
Oh, okay. But I was thinking his office in the main city. That's what happens when we're not clear about what we're trying to say.
But
Laugh twice. So, okay, we're going to move on from computers.
okay.
And we're going to talk about dial pad and moving to, what did you say, VoxBox, Shannon?
Yes, VoxOx, VOXOX.
Ox.
So the problem that I have with dial pad is when they can't port my number because they can't port all of the different numbers that are in the US. So even though they told me when I was in my trial period and they knew what my phone number was and where everything was, now we're 2 months in and we still don't have my number ported and we can't.
So they wasted
So,
time.
well, and I bought a year subscription because I don't buy monthly. So now I've got a year subscription that they don't have a refund policy. Or if they do, it's no refunds.
Yeah.
So, but let me just see if I can find the one that Jamie just found. It's actually cloudphone.com.
And this, Sarah, is something, weren't you asking about texts? How to
I had a
keep,
cold call from somebody who said, "Do you text with employees?" And she was so delightful. You know how you go, "I'm not interested," and you hang up on them so quickly. But she just had a really friendly voice, and so I had a nice talk with her. But it got me thinking about this now that my employees are working out of the house. So I did put a post up. Hey, I heard about this program. What are y'all using? So I think that's what.
okay.
Even so,
So-
dial pad was on my list. So whatever this is. Oh, cloud phone. Okay.
Yeah, so it's VoxOx, but is the parent, yeah. Try saying that. Dial pad, so much easier to say. But so they're running a deal right now where the small business, it's $34.99 a month total. And you get 10 numbers, unlimited extensions, you get all of this stuff. Jamie did the chat and I think he just took the dog out again. Well, she's 6 months old, and
Oh,
so stir crazy because she's been locked in the house and on restricted duty for the last 3 weeks since she ran under my dad's truck as he was driving by
Ooh.
and broke her pelvis.
oh no, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she's good, but it's just driving us nuts. Every 10 minutes, she wants to go outside. And if you let her off the leash, she just takes off and just runs and runs. And then she comes back in. And every once in a while, you'll see her whip her head around to her hind end, like something's attacking her because she's in pain.
Aw.
So, but yeah, one of the absolute requirements that any VoIP phone system that we're going to look at has to be able to receive text.
Okay, so I was looking for just text, or what happened was everybody went home so suddenly with the COVID that we don't use our personal cell phones. Okay, so they need to call the office or email or whatever, and then all of a sudden everybody's working out of their house, so of course naturally everybody gave their personal cell numbers out.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is going to be more of a permanent situation, I should not allow my employees to use their personal cell phones. I need to have a solution, because not only are they using their cell, because they're not here at the office, phone calls are not recorded anywhere. So I miss audit trail. So I have to make sure that we all understand, if they get a phone call, where do they record that, so I know about it. The other is, if somebody does text, and every once in a while, it's just really convenient. What happens is we might get a document on somebody's personal cell phone, and I have, as the owner of this firm, I don't know what's buried in people's text. So I think we're in the same boat. But you want the added benefit of no office phones, right? That this would be your office phone.
Right, because I don't have landlines anywhere.
Okay.
Well, Sarah, you don't either.
Well, mine's
yours is
voice
over IP. But so does it? I didn't see the text thing in there. Does that have the text in that?
Well, it says, where did it go? I think it's on pricing.
Yeah.
But it said unlimited text, and it was a little bubble over here.
Okay.
So
how long is? What happens to that? The sale went away.
we missed it.
What happened? Yeah. So how long does that last? I mean, is it for the duration of your content?
Yes.
Or is it, next year, does it jump to $65 per?
No, it's for
month?
as long as you have uninterrupted service.
Okay.
Well, question. So
yeah,
somebody texts or something, where is that text? Can you, as the owner,
see and dial
for your whole company?
See, I don't know how it is in
Oh, okay. That's like the administrative thing. Okay.
Yeah, so this is my admin
that's
panel
her
for
inbox.
DialPad.
Okay.
So I've got the departments and the different things. I can see the voicemails, the recorded, if there were recordings.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, it's everything.
Right.
But where's the other part? Yeah, here's everything. So I have to mark some calls as spam, but messages. So this is the text messages through DialPad, recordings, voicemails, everything.
And if there's an attachment, can you grab the attachment? You don't have to show us, but
you can't attach it. So you can't like attach a document, but you can send an image or multimedia through it for sure.
Because I was thinking, like, you know how somebody will put a picture on a text or something?
That can be done. Yeah, you can save those. You can download those.
Yeah, and one thing, just a word of caution is that texting. I know a lot of people like texting right now, but the problem is it's not a secure platform by any stretch of the imagination. Now
we understand that, Mark. We do totally understand that. It's the clients that are having a hard time with it.
Yeah, well,
And when they text, they don't have to have a special program on their cell phone, right? They just normally text, right?
Yeah, everything's normal on their end.
Because that's what I'm having is, you know, I want them to go into HubDoc, or I want them to go to all these little tools, and they just want to do what they have always done. So that's what
Because they know how to do it. They know how to take a
They
picture
know how to
on
text
their
and they know how
phone.
to email.
That's true. The younger people today do not want to email. They would rather
Tough.
text.
Now, if we're just talking and I want a audit trail of a conversation, like somebody says, I'm going to do this, or I want you to do that, or whatever, that's my concern right now, especially after the 7 hours of hell that I just had.
Yeah. Well, the recording is,
Documenting a process. I need to protect myself from a lawsuit.
well, the recording's great, but the thing, you got to store it somewhere. I mean, I know it's in here, but then how do you know you actually, you know?
You can
It's
download
not
them.
necessarily part of the. They're just MP3 files.
So there's a couple ways, because it actually has the artificial, I'm sorry and I'm speaking of Dialpad because that's the one I know. But with Dialpad, you can download MP3 file. You can also have it transcribe the conversation itself as it's going on. And I believe you can export that text if you wanted that as well. And it's actually pretty decent. It even will take note of mood language. There's probably a better way to say it than that, but like the language you use and the type of tone it's demonstrating. You can flag them and save them into certain areas, so you can go back to them very quickly. And then I love the search functionality with Dialpad, that you can literally search any word. It's going to go search through all your text and try to bring up the suggestions for it. So, you know, when some knucklehead does send me a username in PW or something, I can search and find it when I need to.
Social security number.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Well, Shannon, what did you like with this one over the Dialpad?
they can port my number.
Oh, the port and the number. Okay. How about this? Have y'all seen any plan where I can leave my main phone number, but if it isn't answered in so many rings, it then would go to this program?
You would just port that number to that service.
But then I can't use my phones, right?
Yeah, you can. You can still use your phone.
No, well, hers are
I
voice
think.
over IP phones. Depends whether they're compatible or not.
Yeah, well,
My
this
voice
is
over IP
voice over.
plan does, right? I mean, I can answer my phone. It's actually not plugged in right now because of a network thing, but and then I can forward it, right? I have a virtual PBX, so then I can do whatever I want in the cloud.
You do Ring
Yeah, so
Central
then-
still, right?
I
Yeah.
guess you could forward it if it isn't answered. You
can.
could forward.
You can. All of them have like the virtual trees of some sort. So like for Dialpad again, but Ring Central does the exact same thing as well. I can actually have a phone call come through to my phone number. It will ring my desktop phone because I want one I can still pick up.
Right.
It can also ring my computer or my cell phone, whichever one I
Yeah,
want.
because
I can set the
there's an
sequence.
app, which is this middle blue app you can't see because it's blurry.
So my employees would have that app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Works through my Bluetooth. The only thing about the phone app is, and I don't think Ring Central or any of them really do it, they don't really connect to like the Apple CarPlay and that type of stuff where when you click a button to say dial Ernest, it's going to try to do that through my cell phone actual like phone book instead of it's not going to go into the app and then do it that way.
Oh, shucks. Well, I wouldn't care if Ernest sees my phone number, but I would if I was like following up on a lead or something. I don't want to give away my cell.
Exactly. It's the one pet peeve I have, which this is a great example. If you find an app that does 80% of what you want, you found a great app. This is me like always pushing the limits further. And I've asked that they look into it because I don't want, if that's my main line for everything, I would literally, if I want to make a phone call, I have to touch my phone. I have to go into the app. I have to search for the person and then click the button. And I don't like that. That's not safe. So I hope that any of these companies will actually take that into consideration when it comes to like Apple CarPlay or Android, whatever it is.
Android Auto.
Yeah.
Got it. So
I'll do my normal spreadsheet of whatever, everything that everybody recommended, and then I've been sitting here making notes of things to ask, and then.
Oh, Sarah,
Huh?
I think you will like Dialpad if they can port your number. Because I love it. I just don't like that I lose my phone number that I've had in my business for 10 years.
Your particular phone number, maybe mine would be okay.
I didn't have any problems with mine at all whatsoever.
So the US is broken down into different rate locations or rate districts or whatever they called it.
Hi, Dwayne.
And which is like your area code and your prefix.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain ones that they don't have access to. Even though they very specific, I made sure they had my stuff. They very specifically told me that they could.
I like to refer to this as a Shannon technical challenge.
I have lots of those. So if you ever want anybody to break something, let me know. I will do it for you. I won't even try. It just happens.
I've got some software you can try.
There you go.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you know, all of us just about here work out of our homes. So, you know, it's this whole remote employees but it's boiling down to audit trail.
Mm-hmm.
The client asks you to do something or tells you one answer and comes back later and goes, I never told you to do that. You better be able
That's
to
the
find it.
problems with phone calls, right? That's why I like chat support better than phone support.
Yes, exactly. So I have been on a rampage about backup and logging phone calls and where do I go and let's get consistent. And I, you know, over the years, I really didn't have a good practice management program where my bookkeepers could, you know, do this well. We tried smart sheets, we tried everything. So now we've decided on ClickUp. So we've been working since February on ClickUp. The thing is, with any program, especially like CRMs and all, if it's not in the program, what good is it? You have to have a commitment. We have to have the habit. The phone rings. Oh,
Amen.
You know, there's Miss So-and-so. She's answering her email with a phone call because she just likes to pick up the phone, okay? And it gets scribbled, and then it's gone. And then 2 weeks later, they go, did you do this? And they go, you know. And so these programs have to be open and in your face, and you have to get the habit of recording. And the other thing is, just because you scan something it may not be enough. Where did you get it? That's what happened today.
Wow.
You did this. I'm like, I didn't do that. Well, it's in my file. Yeah. And so fortunately I'm a pack rat and I'm wading through old emails, searching, and I'm going through old smart sheets because this is like 2 years ago. Okay. And I'm about to be thrown under a bus. And anyway, I'm going to get on a rant. But
no, we'll talk about that later.
I would like to have a conversation about exposure, all of us, and how we file, how we document, how we protect ourselves from that rare occasion when somebody's about to get in trouble, and then who's the scapegoat?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I own the firm, and I'm panicking. Did my bookkeeper do something that she wasn't supposed to do? And it's happening so fast that I can't get my hands on. I mean, I finally, at one point, ran out to the storage shed and grabbed old paper files. And sure enough, I was able to piece together what had happened to give myself ammunition so I can say, here are the facts. Boom, 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 boom. That took me all day, and I am still shaking.
You don't get paid for that either.
And you don't get paid for that, no.
But
That
you don't have to
ruins
pay
your
for it.
day, ruins your week, everything.
Is something like that, Is there any way to protect yourself with a clause? I mean, because somebody can come back to you now, 2 years later, for something that was done 2 years ago.
Well, here's the
Isn't there?
I know when we do our engagement letters, you try to hit on everything. You try to protect yourself. You can have insurance. Well, insurance by that time, it's, you know, you're in hell.
Right.
But you can't, we work with so many minute details and pieces of people's businesses that you can't think of everything. So I know where we're strong. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. Okay.
Mhm.
So you ask me about nonprofits and grants and accounting and all that, man, I know my stuff usually, or I can find it. Okay. Okay. When you get into things like HR and state rules and insurance and liability and workers' comp, and you know, so I'm doing better through the years because I've been doing this for so long. You do
It's
enough
just
workers'
plain
comp
old
audits, you learn. Okay, so this was there's certain things that only clients tend to deal with. Okay, a SEP IRA or a simple. Okay. I don't know. I don't have one in my own firm. I use mainly, you know, so when a client says, here, write these checks, I don't, you know, I go, okay. All right. So it's a really long story. But the thing is, you know, I can say that's out of scope. Your human resources is out of scope for my accounting. But when you're involved with their administrative in such a level that I am, I tell everybody I'm part of your team. I am, you know, run things by me. Everything affects the checkbook I need to know about. Da, da, da. And so they get used to that, because if something's not getting done, and it can even be something out of scope, my personality is I'll bring it up and go, hey, are you aware that? And that's part of being a good advisor. You see something missing in their business and you say, hey, have you tried that? You know, and we hear so many webinars about marketing, okay, revenue streams, all this stuff. And if you want to be a good advisor, you get into their business. Okay. Well, I'm strong in compliance in the areas that I really know. When it comes into all the different retirement plans, I go talk to the insurance people. I don't know anything about insurance. You know, then we get into a plan like a simple or a SEP, they're self-administered. There is nobody to call. You better know what you're doing. So I've never been involved. So if somebody comes out of a compliance and then it gets found out and then it gets fixed, in this case, by past administrators, it got fixed, and then a new administrator came in, was out of the loop, didn't know what they were doing, and did it with the way they interpreted it. And now we are another 2 years down the line, and they're like, we fixed this years ago. And I'm like, yeah, I remember y'all doing that. And how are these checks, you know, configured? And I'm like, I was told to prepare checks. I wasn't involved. Well, you did the calculations. No, we did. How would I do the calculations if I don't understand what a SEP is? As a matter of fact, after 4 hours of reading last night, I thought a SEP and a simple was the same thing. A couple more hours of reading this morning, I go, oh, I have that wrong. Okay, so now this is a client who had one lawyer help them at one point, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Then they hired a big-time law firm in Atlanta at $550 an hour. So there's a $7,000 bill, and I'm wading through all this stuff, and I'm like, this still isn't right. And I'm just little old Sarah Googling.
Right.
So here they are in a mess again. Okay, you know what? It's a mess. What do we do to fix it? Let's get some legal advice, and I'll help you fix it. But when I heard you did those calculations, don't look at me, my heart just dived. Because, you know, when it comes down to it, you can love your clients and have them for 30 years and they're all buddy-buddy. But when it comes down to something that they don't want to cop to, they'll throw you under a bus.
Exactly.
So anyway, I mean, it just, the point is, we could have a whole conversation on ways to protect yourself. Like, if this were 3 years from now with the system that I have now, I'd have found it like that. But I couldn't find my bookkeeper. I'm wading through her Outlook, but she's filing everything different than me. And and I couldn't figure out how to filter, you know, I mean, it was just like, and I'm trying to talk on the phone while I'm feverishly searching, and
Right.
I couldn't find PDF. I couldn't find copies of things, and I had to finally run out to paper files, you know.
Yeah.
So I think once we get past this period, all those problems are going to go away. But I would love to have a conversation. I think it'd be very helpful for the ones of us that are self-employed.
Yeah.
How do you file?
Exposure and compliance, right? Right.
You know, anyway, I'm not talking about, like Matthew said, that one program lets you search.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I love any program that has a
good search function.
good search. Yeah. So anyway,
I'll tell you, that's how I find I use QuickBooks to find so many things because I use the memo field. And
Isn't that great?
that's just so, yeah, you know, like when I was trying to find a Lifeline screening and when did I have it done in that, it occurred to me, oh, well, I paid for that.
Yeah.
So that's in QuickBooks. And you know what? I found it. Even if I don't use that name Lifeline screening, I put it in a memo or something. And so I can find it and then I can call them on the phone and then I can say, well, it happened on August 29th, 2016. And that's why I recommend them, because they're one of the people who did answer the phone at the end of March. And they mailed me copies of these reports that were generated,
wonderful.
pictures of my carotid arteries from August 2016.
Nice.
And they said, oh, but there's a charge. I said, how much? They said 15. I said, oh, that's nothing. Are you kidding me? It's like,
That's
5 years old. Yeah, it was perfect.
Okay, well, we went a little over today.
We did. Oh,
We didn't talk about
my helpful.
Did we
dashboard.
skip something? Because I talked what?
Pardon?
What did we skip? Because I got talking.
Nothing. It's good.
Nothing
It's all
important.
good. It's all good. We'll save this for a future one.
We
Dashboards.
will.
Dashboards. Are you using them? And what do you like about them? What works
Yeah.
for you? Have you used them and abandoned any? Sarah, you're
Yeah.
using ClickUp, which could be,
It
well,
has dashboards. Yeah, there's some really cool widgets. But that's
Oh,
in that world.
And that is getting so many more cool features added every day.
Are you?
$35 billion to do that to you or whatever.
Yeah.
35 million, right?
35 million.
million in cash. I'm sure that they got sold, but
Now is that you talking about client
yeah.
facing dashboards?
Yeah, that's the difference. It's like
Yeah.
right now.
talking about practice management, really.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So
More
the
or less
ClickUp,
like-
the ClickUp
yeah.
style stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
As opposed to Giraffe or something like that.
Oh, that's two completely different
That's like,
programs.
That's why I asked because there's two. One's client-facing dashboard for their stuff, and the other one's your internal practice management.
Mhm.
Internal
Dashboard.
practice management. Yeah. So we'll save that for the future. Anything anyone wants to talk about before we say goodbye?
Well, next week is July 3rd, the day before the 4th of July. Do we want to skip next week or? I'm going to be home. I'm not going away over the.
I will be around. So
Well,
unless
yeah, we're
I
gonna be
say
here.
anything in the group, we'll be here next week.
Okay,
doubt-
great. I'll
I
be
doubt-
here too.
I doubt there'll people be watching fireworks in groups or crowds, I would guess. That there's
Well, there,
not,
you
not going to
know,
be a lot.
They're almost all
only
canceled.
once-
It's all canceled.
Well, except the city of
Life
Rancho
is canceled.
Cucamonga is going to do it. They're going to actually show fireworks at the Chaffee College campus, which is way up the hill. Where we live in like a valley, and then you go up the hill like 1,500 feet. You know, so
They're gonna
if
put
you're at
them
the
all
bottom of the hill and you look up, you can see what's up the hill.
Everybody in the
doing that.
valley will be able to.
Don't go there. Just
No, you can't go there. They won't let you go there. They're saying park your car somewhere and watch them.
Awesome. Awesome.
You can watch them from anywhere in the valley, and they're the only city doing
We'll
it.
have plenty of neighbors freaking out the dog.
Oh, well,
Your
that's
here.
well, I know, but what my neighbors are doing, they've been doing that since before Memorial Day. I think
Yeah.
it's a COVID
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
All righty.
Well, great. See you next week.
See you next week.
nothing. You should live in
Bye.
Metro New York City.
Oh, really?
I can imagine. All righty,
Well,
guys.
everybody shoots off fireworks there. Happy fireworks.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a great weekend,
Bye.
everyone.